Elder Minji led the Valaxian visitors through wide streets lined with trees not native to this world. Captain Tak walked beside her, his compound eyes constantly scanning their surroundings. Officer Neri followed closely, recording everything with her wrist device. The other Valaxians spread out behind them, drawing curious stares from human children who peeked from windows and doorways. "Our settlement may seem strange to you," Minji said, gesturing to the buildings around them. "We blend old and new deliberately." She wasn't wrong. The Valaxians observed homes built from local wood standing next to structures made of advanced composite materials. Some buildings had simple glass windows, while others featured smart surfaces that changed transparency with the sun's position. Old-fashioned water wheels turned in a nearby stream, yet they powered modern energy collectors. "You live with contradictions," Tak noted. "We prefer to call it balance," Minji replied. "Technology serves us, not the other way around." They passed a large garden where humans of all ages worked together. Some used simple tools while others operated floating robotic assistants that analyzed soil and plants. The robot's design was unlike anything in Alliance databases, more elegant and somehow more natural-looking. "Your technology," Neri observed, her antennae twitching with excitement. "It's not consistent with known human engineering principles." "Because it isn't derived from them," Minji said with a slight smile. "At least, not entirely." They reached a large circular building at the center of the settlement. Unlike the other structures, this one was clearly part of the original colony ship, the broken hull repurposed and expanded upon over generations. The metal walls still bore the faded insignia of Earth Space Service. Inside, the temperature dropped pleasantly. The walls glowed with soft light from no visible source. Elder Minji led them to a round table where other human elders waited. Each wore the same blue tunics with shifting silver patterns. Tak noticed the patterns weren't merely decorative. They were constantly changing, perhaps displaying information. "Please, sit." Minji gestured to empty chairs. "We have prepared refreshments safe for your biology." Once they were seated, another elder, a man with deep brown skin and gray hair, pushed a button on the table. A three-dimensional star map appeared above them, showing their current position at Earth, nearly 1,200 light-years away. "I imagine you have questions," Minji said. "Several thousand," Neri replied, earning appreciative chuckles from the human elders. Tak leaned forward. "Let's start with how you came to be here." The Alliance has no record of human colonization attempts before their contact with the Arcturians in 2389. Minji nodded to a younger woman who touched the projection controls. The star map changed to show an old Earth spacecraft, long and cylindrical with massive engines at one end. "This was the ESS Prometheus *," she explained, launched in 2097 from Earth's orbital shipyards. Official records labeled it a generation ship bound for Proxima Centauri, using conventional propulsion. It supposedly vanished with all 1,500 colonists aboard. "That aligns with our historical databases," Neri confirmed. "The truth," Minji continued, "is that Prometheus * was testing something revolutionary. The projection changed to show the ship's engine system, a prototype faster-than-light drive developed in secret by a consortium of Earth nations." The Valaxians stirred uncomfortably. Duri's translucent body rippled with shock. "Impossible," he burbled. "Humans didn't develop FTL technology independently. The Arcturians provided it as part of First Contact protocols." "That's what the Alliance believes," said the brown-skinned elder. "What Earth allows them to believe." Minji touched the table controls, zooming in on the ancient ship's drive system. "The Prometheus * mission was ambitious. We achieved FTL speeds but suffered critical navigation failures. The drive was imperfect, brilliant but unstable. We were thrown off course, far beyond our intended destination." "We?" Tak's compound eyes fixed on Minji. "You speak as if you were there." "A figure of speech," she replied smoothly. "We preserve our history through direct memory transfer. Our founders live on through us. The projection changed again, showing the ship crash landing on this planet. The simulation depicted the damaged vessel coming down relatively intact, a controlled crash rather than a catastrophic one. The colonists survived, Minji continued. They established Nova Haven using what they could salvage. They adapted to this world, and they continued their work. What work? Asked Nari. Perfecting what they began, Minji answered. She touched another control, and a new engine schematic appeared, clearly evolved from the original but far more elegant. Our ancestors believed humanity wasn't ready for this technology. They feared what Earth might do with true FTL capability. So they waited, watched, and refined. But Earth eventually joined the galactic community anyway, Tak pointed out, using Arcturian FTL technology. Inferior technology, said another elder, an older man with burn scars visible on his hands and face. The Arcturians gave humans what they thought humans could handle. Safe, limited, controlled. Nari's scientific mind was racing ahead. You're suggesting your ancestors developed a superior FTL system, and you've continued to refine it for 3 centuries. We didn't just refine it, Minji said with quiet pride. We perfected it. Duri shifted uneasily, his gelatinous form elongating slightly. If what you say is true, why reveal yourselves now? You've remained hidden for centuries. Minji exchanged glances with the other elders. A silent communication seemed to pass between them before she answered. Because the galaxy is changing, because humanity has matured enough to handle what we offer, and because threats are emerging that the Alliance is unprepared to face. Captain Tuck's exoskeleton stiffened. What threats? Patient ones, said the scared elder. Watching, waiting, just as we have been. Minji stood and walked to a window overlooking the settlement. Captain Tak, we need you to deliver a message to both Earth and the Galactic Alliance. Nova Haven is ready to rejoin our human family and share what we've developed. But they must understand, everything they believe about humanity's place in the cosmos is built on incomplete information. Your revelation will cause significant diplomatic disruption, Tak warned. The Alliance Council will have questions about why humans concealed their early FTL capability. Earth concealed it because they thought it lost, Minji replied. We concealed ourselves by choice. She turned back to face the visitors, her expression grave. But some secrets can no longer remain hidden. Some truths must be faced. Nari looked up from her calculations. Your FTL system, theoretically, how much faster is it than current Alliance technology? Minji smiled. Perhaps you should see for yourself. She nodded to one of the younger humans, who opened a door leading deeper into the building. We've prepared a demonstration that will answer many of your questions, and raise many more. The journey from the landing site to the human settlement took nearly 15 minutes on foot. Captain Tak led his team forward with measured steps, his gray scales catching the light of the unfamiliar sun. The air smelled different here, rich with plant life that had evolved separately from both Earth and Valaxian biology. As they approached the settlement, Officer Nari kept her scanning device active, recording everything. Captain, these readings are fascinating. Their energy grid is unlike anything I've seen before. It's elegant. Explain, Tak requested, his compound eyes fixed on the approaching human delegation. Their solar collectors achieve nearly 90% efficiency, far beyond Alliance standards. And they're integrated seamlessly with traditional power systems, Nari replied, her antennae quivering with excitement. Duri, the communications specialist, gestured toward the buildings ahead. Look at how they've constructed their colony. Modern technology alongside primitive methods. Some buildings appear to be printed from advanced composites, while others are hand-built from local wood. The settlement stretched before them in concentric rings. At its center stood what appeared to be the remains of a massive spacecraft, repurposed into a central building. Gardens and farms surrounded the outer rings, with clear irrigation channels carrying water throughout the community. They're approaching, Tak noted as a group of humans walked toward them. 7 humans formed the welcoming committee. They wore simple clothing in earth tones, though Tak noted subtle technology woven into the fabric. Tiny lights that pulsed in patterns too regular to be decorative. Leading them was a woman whose age was evident in the silver streaks through her dark hair and the fine lines around her eyes. "They show no fear," whispered Dury, his translucent form rippling slightly. "Most isolated colonies panic at first contact." The human delegation stopped 5 meters away. The woman stepped forward alone, her posture relaxed and confident. "Welcome to Nova Haven," she said in perfect galactic standard. "I am Elder Minji. We've been expecting someone to find us eventually." Tak's mandibles clicked once in surprise. "You speak Alliance Standard without translation assistance." "We've had 3 centuries to learn many things," Minji replied with a slight smile. She gestured to the settlement behind her. "Please, join us. You must have questions." The Valaxians followed the humans into the settlement. Children peeked from windows and doorways, watching the aliens with curiosity rather than fear. Adults nodded respectfully as they passed. Tak noted there were no visible weapons anywhere, not even tools that could serve as makeshift defense. "Your colony is impressive," Tak observed as they walked, "especially considering your isolation." "Isolation was a choice, not a hardship," Minji replied. "We've maintained certain connections, though discreetly." They entered a large building constructed from the original hull plates of a spacecraft. Inside, the walls were lined with living plants that seemed to glow faintly, providing natural light. A large round table dominated the center of the room, with chairs for both the visitors and their hosts. Once seated, Elder Minji activated a holographic display above the table. A 3-dimensional image of an old Earth spacecraft appeared, long and cylindrical with massive engines. "This was our beginning," she said. "The Earth spaceship Prometheus launched in 2097 with 1,500 colonists aboard." Neri leaned forward, her scientific interest fully engaged. "But that's impossible. According to all Alliance records, humans didn't possess faster-than-light travel until they encountered the Arcturians in 2389. "The official history is incomplete," Minji replied. The hologram changed to show the ship's unique engine configuration. The Prometheus carried an experimental FTL drive. It was humanity's first attempt to break the light barrier. The Valaxians exchanged glances. This revelation contradicted everything known about human technological development. "The mission was classified at the highest levels," continued Minji. "When the Prometheus failed to reach its intended destination, Earth authorities assumed the experiment had failed catastrophically. The project was abandoned, its record sealed." "But you survived," Tak observed. Minji nodded. "The FTL drive worked, but navigation systems failed during the jump. We were thrown far off course and crash-landed here." The hologram showed the trajectory, spanning over 1,000 light-years from Earth. "Our ancestors managed a controlled landing, salvaged what they could, and built Nova Haven. Even with FTL capability, this is beyond the range of early human technology," Neri objected, her antennae twitching rapidly. "The energy requirements alone would be beyond what you believe possible." Minji finished for her. "That is precisely why we've remained hidden. The truth about human technological capabilities would have complicated Earth's integration into the galactic community." Dury's translucent form shimmered with confusion. "Are you suggesting Earth deliberately concealed their early FTL development from the Alliance?" "Not exactly," Minji replied. "Earth genuinely believed the technology was lost with the Prometheus. They abandoned that research path and eventually accepted Arcturian FTL technology when first contact occurred centuries later." "But you continued to develop it," Tak said, understanding dawning in his compound eyes. Minji smiled. "For 300 years, we've refined what our ancestors began, each generation improving upon the last." She touched a control on the table, and the hologram changed to show a new engine design, clearly evolved from the original but far more sophisticated. Our current system achieves speeds the Alliance would consider impossible, she said quietly. And that is only one of our advancements. Why reveal yourselves now? Tak asked, his military mind already calculating the implications. After centuries of deliberate isolation, Elder Minji's expression grew serious. Because the galaxy is changing. Threats are emerging that the Alliance is unprepared to face, and humanity has finally matured enough to handle what we offer. What threats? Demanded Tak. Patient ones, Minji replied cryptically. We've been watching more than just Earth all these centuries. She stood and walked to a window overlooking the settlement. Captain Tak, we need you to deliver a message to both Earth and the Galactic Alliance. It's time for the lost children to return home, and to bring what we've learned with us. Nari's scientific mind was already racing ahead. If what you say is true, this changes our understanding of human history, Alliance formation, possibly even the fundamental physics the Alliance has accepted for centuries. Yes, Minji agreed simply. It changes everything. Captain Tak stood in the analysis lab of the Eternal Seeker *, watching his crew examine the artifacts from Nova Haven. The ship hummed quietly around them as it maintained standard orbit. Through the viewport, the blue-green world turned slowly below, looking deceptively ordinary for a planet that might change galactic history. Be careful with that, Engineer Hoon warned as two junior technicians lifted a metal component onto the scanning table. The object appeared to be part of the original Prometheus drive system, a twisted piece of metal and crystal that somehow survived the crash 3 centuries ago. Hoon passed his 6-fingered hands over the scanning controls. The room's lights dimmed as holographic displays illuminated, showing the internal structure of the artifact. The engineer's eyes widened, and his usual composure faltered. This design, he whispered, his hands trembling visibly. It's elegant, efficient, and by all accounts, it should be impossible. Nari moved closer to examine the display. The crystalline structure contains elements we've never seen arranged this way. It seems to create some kind of dimensional fold. Not just a fold, Hoon corrected, his voice hushed with awe. A controlled phase shift between dimensional states. The mathematics behind this would be beyond anything in our databases. Captain Tak turned to where Elder Minji stood quietly observing their reactions. The human woman had agreed to come aboard the Eternal Seeker with 2 other colony representatives to explain their technology. They showed no signs of discomfort in the alien environment, neither fascinated nor intimidated by Valaxian technology. Your ancestors built this, Tak asked, gesturing toward the artifact. The original design, yes, Minji replied. This is merely a fragment of the prototype drive. Our current systems are significantly more advanced. As if to emphasize her point, another technician activated a display showing the schematics for Nova Haven's current FTL technology. The design bore little resemblance to the damaged component, having evolved through generations of refinement. This approach to faster-than-light travel contradicts everything we understand about physics, said Hoon, still examining the holographic model. The Alliance's FTL systems, even the most advanced Tellurian designs, work by warping space around the vessel. But this, he gestured at the schematics, this moves the vessel itself between dimensional states where light speed limitations don't apply. Precisely, confirmed one of Minji's companions, a young man named Shono. The Prometheus drive was revolutionary but flawed. It achieved faster-than-light travel but couldn't maintain navigational stability across dimensional boundaries, which explains the crash, Nari said, understanding dawning in her eyes. We've solved those problems, Minji stated simply. Our current drives can achieve speeds approximately 50 times faster than the best Alliance technology, with perfect navigational control. A heavy silence fell over the lab. The implications were staggering. Such technology would completely upend the balance of power in the galaxy. Faster ships meant faster communication, more efficient trade, military advantage, civilization-changing capabilities. Why reveal this now? Tak finally asked, his voice cutting through the silence. You've had centuries to make contact. Why choose this moment? Minji walked to the viewport, gazing down at the planet below. When the Prometheus left Earth, humanity was divided, warlike, short-sighted. Our ancestors believed the technology was too dangerous for such a species. They feared what Earth might do with it, both to itself and to any alien civilizations it encountered. So they chose isolation, Tak said. They chose patience, Minji corrected. They watched from afar as humanity joined the galactic community, learned to cooperate with other species, began to mature, all while continuing to refine what the Prometheus had started. Junho activated another display, showing a star chart of regions beyond Alliance space. We've been exploring far beyond what your ships can reach. We've discovered things, some wonderful, some troubling. What kind of things? Nari asked, her scientific curiosity piqued. Evidence of a civilization far more advanced than the Alliance, Minji answered. One that appears to be studying the Alliance borders with great interest. Tak's compound eyes narrowed. A threat? Perhaps, Minji acknowledged. They're careful, patient, methodical. They've been placing observation posts near Alliance space for at least a century, but their technology is sophisticated enough to evade standard detection methods. The implications settled heavily on Tak's shoulders. If what these humans claimed was true, the Alliance faced a potential adversary they didn't even know existed, one with technology beyond their capabilities to detect, let alone counter. We've been waiting for the right moment, Minji continued, turning back to face the Valaxian captain. Humanity wasn't ready to wield this power when we left Earth. We needed to ensure they had matured enough to use it wisely. And now? Tak asked, his voice betraying his agitation. Now we have you to carry our message back to both Earth and the Galactic Alliance, Minji replied. She gestured to the drive component on the scanning table. This is merely proof of our claims. We're prepared to share much more. Hoon looked up from his analysis. This technology alone would revolutionize Alliance capabilities, if your current systems are as advanced as you claim. They are, confirmed Shunho with quiet certainty, and we offer more than just dry technology. Medical advancements, energy generation, materials science. 300 years of development in isolation produces many innovations. Captain Tak walked slowly around the lab, considering the weight of responsibility suddenly resting on his shoulders. His discovery of Nova Haven would change history, of that he was certain. But whether that change would strengthen the Alliance or fracture it remained to be seen. The Alliance Council will have questions, he said finally. They'll want to know why your colony chose secrecy for so long. Why Earth never disclosed their early FTL experiments. Earth believed the technology died with the Prometheus Minji explained. They abandoned that research path as too dangerous and costly. When the Arcturians offered their FTL technology centuries later, humanity accepted gratefully, never realizing they had once developed something far superior. This revelation will cause significant diplomatic strain, Tak warned. The Arcturians and other founding species may see this as human deception. Perhaps, Minji conceded. But the threat we've identified leaves no time for political sensitivities. The Alliance needs our technology, and we need the Alliance's cooperation. Tak's mandibles clicked softly, a sign of deep thought among his species. I'll need to report this discovery immediately. The Council will likely send a diplomatic delegation. We anticipated as much, Minji replied with a slight smile. We've prepared appropriate accommodations. As the analysis continued around them, Tak moved closer to Minji and lowered his voice. I understand the technological importance of your colony, but I sense there's something more you haven't shared, something about your people specifically. Minji's expression revealed nothing, but her eyes held Tak's gaze steadily. "You're perceptive, Captain. Yes, there are other aspects of Nova Haven that will surprise both Earth and the Alliance, but some revelations should wait for the proper moment, don't you think?" The captain felt a shiver pass through his exoskeleton. Whatever secrets these humans still kept, he suspected they would be even more world-changing than their impossible technology. The Grand Council chamber on Harmonium Prime gleamed with polished stone imported from 27 worlds. High-arched ceilings captured whispers from one end of the room and carried them to the other, a deliberate design feature that reminded representatives that secrets were hard to keep in this place. Today, the chamber was sealed to all, but the highest-ranking officials from each Alliance species. Captain Tak stood at the witness podium, his gray scales looking dull under the bright lights. He had spent 14 straight hours answering questions, explaining his discovery of Nova Haven and the evidence the colonists had provided. "And you believe these humans' claims?" asked Counselor Mem of the methane-breathing Kortov, her voice buzzing through her translator. "The evidence supports their account," Tak replied carefully. "Their technology functions as claimed. My science officer confirmed it independently." Across the chamber, High Elder Vox of the Tellurians shifted his ancient body. The eldest member of the council, Vox had seen the Alliance form and grow over 2 centuries. His withered frame was supported by a web of gleaming technological enhancements that kept him alive well beyond his species' natural lifespan. "You must understand the gravity of this situation," Vox warned, leaning forward with surprising intensity for one so old. "If what these lost colonists claim is true, then humanity has been concealing technological capabilities that violate multiple Alliance treaties." Ambassador Juhu of Earth stood at her podium, her formal diplomatic robes highlighting her slender frame. Though human delegation had been given only 12 hours to prepare for this emergency session, she appeared perfectly composed, except for the slight tremor in her hands that betrayed her inner turmoil. "I assure you, my government had no knowledge of this colony or their technological achievements," Juwu stated firmly. "The historical records of the Prometheus mission describe it as a conventional generation ship bound for Proxima Centauri that was lost with all hands." "Convenient," rumbled the representative from Centaur, his massive horned head turning toward the human section. "Perhaps these records were deliberately falsified." "To what end?" Juwu countered. "If Earth possessed superior FTL technology, why would we abandon it to accept inferior Arcturian drives? Why would we join the Alliance as a junior partner when we could have dominated interstellar travel?" The Arcturian delegate rippled his crystalline structure in what his species considered a laugh. "Perhaps your early experiments were too dangerous. Perhaps you needed our expertise to refine what you had begun." Tak watched the political maneuvering with growing unease. The accusations and counter-accusations were expected, but something deeper troubled him, the way certain council members seemed more alarmed by the technology itself rather than the deception. Several delegates kept returning to questions about the exact capabilities of Nova Haven's FTL systems, their tone revealing not outrage but fear. High Elder Vox tapped his metal-enhanced fingers on the podium. "The more pressing question is what we do now. These Nova Haven humans possess technology that could destabilize the entire Alliance power structure. They've offered to share it freely," Tak reminded the Council. Their representatives were clear on that point. "Nothing is free, Captain," said the Mordarian delegate, his ink-black eyes unblinking. "Especially not technology this advanced." Ambassador Juwu stepped forward. "If I may, honored Council, my government requests permission to send a diplomatic mission to Nova Haven immediately. If these are indeed descendants of a lost Earth expedition, we have a responsibility to establish direct contact." "Absolutely not," the Centaur representative growled. "Earth cannot be allowed private access to this colony. Any delegation must include Alliance observers." The chamber erupted into competing voices, each species demanding representation in any contact mission. Tak watched as alliances formed and dissolved in real time, ancient rivalries, and fresh suspicions playing out in the political theater. Meanwhile, far across the stars, Elder Minji stood on a hill overlooking Nova Haven. The evening air carried the scent of blooming night flowers unique to this world. Behind her, the colony's lights created a peaceful tableau of human achievement. "They've begun deliberations," said Juno, joining her on the hillside. "Our observers report significant discord among the council." As expected, Minji replied calmly, "Change always brings resistance." "The Earth delegation appears genuinely surprised by our existence," Juno noted. "Their shock seems authentic." Minji nodded. The secret was well kept. Only a handful of government officials knew the truth about the Prometheus mission, and they took that knowledge to their graves long ago. A third figure joined them, an older man named Quan, whose weathered face carried the marks of hard physical labor. Unlike most elders, he preferred working in the fields to administrative duties. "Are our preparations complete?" Minji asked him. "Yes," Quan answered. "The emergency protocols are in place. If the Alliance reaction turns hostile, we can evacuate the entire population within 6 hours." "And the technology vault?" Shono asked. "Secure. The most sensitive research has been moved to the backup location. If necessary, we can destroy everything here without losing our most important work." Minji gazed up at the stars, her expression calm despite the preparations for potential disaster. "Our ancestors didn't choose isolation out of fear, but strategy. They knew this day would come eventually." "Do you think Earth will accept us?" Quan asked. "After so long?" "They'll have no choice," Minji replied. "The evidence is irrefutable. The question is whether they'll embrace us as long-lost children or fear us as potentially dangerous relatives." Back in the council chamber, the deliberations had reached a critical point. Ambassador Juwu was making a final appeal. "Whatever mistakes were made in the past, these people are human. They are our responsibility. Their technology could benefit all Alliance species, but they've specifically requested Earth's involvement in any negotiation." High Elder Vox raised a hand for silence. "Captain Tak, you've spent the most time with these colonists. In your assessment, do they pose a threat to Alliance security?" Tak considered his answer carefully. His report would shape the Council's decision and potentially the future of interspecies relations. He thought of Elder Minji's calm confidence, of the peaceful settlement with its blend of technology and tradition, of the evidence they'd provided about threats beyond Alliance space. "In my assessment," he said slowly, "they represent both an opportunity and a challenge. Their technology is indeed revolutionary, but their intent appears genuine. They could have remained hidden indefinitely. Instead, they chose to reveal themselves now because they believe the Alliance faces threats it is not prepared to confront." "What threats?" demanded several counselors simultaneously. "That," said Tak, "is something you should ask them directly." The council chamber fell silent as the implications settled. After several moments, High Elder Vox spoke again, his ancient voice carrying unexpected authority. "We will send a joint delegation, Earth representatives alongside Alliance observers. Captain Tak will lead, as he has already established trust with these colonists." The Elder's enhanced eyes swept the chamber. "And we will approach with open minds, not accusations. If these humans have indeed seen threats beyond our borders, we would be fools to reject their warnings out of pride or suspicion." As the council session adjourned, Tak knew that the true test was just beginning. Whatever Nova Haven was hiding, whatever they had seen in the darkness beyond known space, would soon come to light, for better or worse. The joint fleet of Galactic Alliance and Earth Commonwealth ships appeared in the Nova Haven system with military precision. 27 vessels representing every major Alliance species formed a protective ring around the Earth flagship Unity *. Captain Tak watched from the bridge of the Eternal Seeker * as the massive ships took position in high orbit. "Quite a show of force," he remarked to Ambassador Juwu, who stood beside him as an official observer. The council wanted to be prepared for any possibility, she replied diplomatically, though her expression suggested she found the military display excessive. 3 months had passed since Tuck's discovery. 3 months of intense debate, accusations, and political maneuvering. Now, finally, the official contact mission had arrived. What they found stunned even those who had read Tuck's detailed reports. Nova Haven had changed dramatically. What had appeared to be a single settlement was now revealed as merely one node in a vast network of communities. As the shuttles descended toward the Ming colony, they passed over sprawling cities, vast agricultural projects, and massive research facilities that had somehow remained hidden during the initial contact. They concealed their true extent, murmured Elder Vox as their shuttle approached the landing zone. The ancient Tellurian rarely left his homeworld, but had insisted on personally leading the Alliance delegation. Impressive masking technology. Or perhaps we saw what we expected to see, Tak suggested quietly. The diplomatic party was greeted by Elder Minji and a welcoming committee at a newly constructed landing facility. Beyond it stood a vast circular building that had not existed 3 months earlier, a meeting hall built specifically for this historic gathering. "Welcome to Nova Haven," Minji greeted them. "We are honored by your presence." The Earth representatives stepped forward first. Ambassador Jiwoo performed the formal introduction of Earth's High Commissioner, who presented Minji with an ancient Earth flag, a gesture of recognition that moved many of the colonists visibly. "Your people have not been forgotten," the commissioner said, "though we believed you lost long ago." Inside the meeting hall, over 300 representatives gathered. Alliance officials, Earth diplomats, and Nova Haven citizens. The room's design allowed perfect acoustics without amplification. At its center, a raised platform held a sophisticated holographic projector. Elder Minji took her place at the center of the platform. Though small in stature, her presence commanded the room's attention. "We are not seeking to disrupt the galactic order," she began, her voice clear and strong. "But we can no longer remain hidden. Earth and humanity face existential threats that the Alliance either cannot or will not acknowledge." She activated the holographic display. Above the gathered dignitaries appeared a 3-dimensional star map showing regions far beyond Alliance space. Red markers indicated positions of unknown outposts and bases. "For centuries, we have been exploring beyond what your ships can reach," Minji continued. "Our advanced FTL technology has allowed us to venture where no Alliance vessel could go. What we discovered alarmed us deeply." The display zoomed in on a distant star cluster. Detailed scans showed artificial structures of immense scale, space stations, shipyards, and energy collection arrays that dwarfed anything the Alliance had built. "We call them the Watchers," Minji explained. "An ancient civilization that has been observing the Alliance for decades. They have placed stealth observation posts along your borders, studied your defenses, analyzed your communication patterns." The hologram changed to show small, nearly undetectable devices attached to Alliance border beacons. According to the data, these had been in place for over 50 years without detection. "They are patient, methodical, and extremely advanced," Minji continued. "Their technology exceeds even our own in many areas, and they are preparing for expansion." A ripple of concern spread through the audience. Elder Vox leaned forward, his enhanced eyes studying the data intensely. "Why have our sensors never detected these observers?" he demanded. "Their cloaking technology operates on principles unknown to Alliance science," Minji answered. She gestured, and the hologram changed to show technical specifications that made several Alliance scientists gasp audibly. "They exist partially out of phase with normal spacetime, visible only with specialized detection methods we developed specifically to find them." High Commissioner Pack of Earth stood. "If this threat is real, why reveal yourselves now? Why not years ago?" "2 reasons," Minji replied calmly. "First, until recently, the Watchers appeared to be merely observing. New data suggests they have begun the early stages of a campaign of expansion. Second," she paused, Humanity and the Alliance weren't ready before. Your societies needed time to mature, to move beyond old prejudices and rivalries. And you believe we are ready now? Asked the Centaur representative skeptically. We hope you are, Minji answered honestly. The alternative is extinction. The display changed again, showing Nova Haven's advanced technology. Not just the revolutionary FTL drive, but medical devices that could cure diseases thought incurable, energy generation systems that produced no waste, materials stronger yet lighter than anything the Alliance had developed. We offer this freely, Minji said, not to give humanity an advantage, but to ensure the survival of all sentient life in this sector of the galaxy. From his position near the back of the hall, Captain Tak watched the proceedings with growing understanding. He finally grasped why his discovery had so thoroughly unsettled the Council of Elders. It wasn't just that humans had advanced technology. It was that humans, once again, were rewriting the rules. Throughout Alliance history, humanity had been the unpredictable factor. They had joined the galactic community late, yet adapted with remarkable speed. They formed alliances across species lines that defied traditional political blocs. They approached problems with unconventional solutions that often succeeded where traditional methods failed. Now, these lost children of Earth were doing it again, presenting both a terrible threat and an unexpected solution, forcing cooperation where competition had reigned. The negotiations continued long into the night. Arguments flared and subsided. Technical experts huddled over data, confirming the validity of Nova Haven's claims. Military strategists studied the information about the Watchers with growing alarm. By morning, the framework of a new agreement had emerged. Nova Haven would be recognized as a sovereign human colony with full Alliance membership. Their technology would be shared through a carefully managed program to prevent economic disruption. A joint defense initiative would begin immediately to prepare for possible conflict with the Watchers. As dawn broke over Nova Haven, Captain Tak stood on a balcony overlooking the colony. Elder Minji joined him, looking tired but satisfied. Your council is adapting more quickly than we expected, she observed. Fear is a powerful motivator, Tak replied. But so is hope. He turned to face her. There's still something you haven't shared, isn't there? Something about your people specifically. Minji smiled slightly. Perceptive as always, Captain. Yes, there are other aspects of Nova Haven that will emerge in time. 3 centuries of isolation changes a species in unexpected ways. As the sun rose higher, illuminating the thriving colony below, one thing became abundantly clear. The galaxy would never be the same. The lost children of Earth had returned, and their message was simple: unity or extinction. The human capacity for both destruction and innovation had always been their most frightening quality. And now, it might be the salvation of all.